So this is going to be a book review of Scrum, The Art of Doing Twice the Work in Half the Time by Jeff Sutherland. Now, when you're working on a project, there are two main problems that occur when planning. The first is called the planning fallacy. The planning fallacy is basically an overly optimistic or pessimistic view of how long a project will take to complete. Researchers have found that what people plan and what they actually do can be regularly up to 5 times more or 4 times less. Simply said, we are bad at planning and estimation. Things come up that we didn't plan, most plans are overly detailed, and usually the planners aren't on the same page as the doers. This causes problems in large-scale planning, and this is what Scrum is mostly about, how to deal with large projects to break them down and make them easier to work with. The other problem is the sunk cost fallacy. When we spend time on something, or a feature, we become emotionally invested into it. We don't want to throw it away or make any major changes to it because it's ours. We don't want to change it. The problem can't really be avoided unless you find a way for people not to get emotionally attached, such as rotating jobs, and this is a topic for another video. The big idea of Scrum is to break the project into smaller chunks that can be worked on in teams of 3 to 9 people. Within these chunks, the workers will create, update, and constantly be changing the plan, and this is very important. The plan always has to be changing. That way it stays alive. The constant plan change is what allows Scrum to be so versatile and adaptive. The smaller teams will also result in more accurate planning, since the people actually doing the work are also doing the planning. And because the group is between 3 and 9 people, the group will communicate better and more effectively. So chunks of people work in something called a sprint, which is usually a week or 2 weeks that the group tries to achieve a common goal. Sprints are designed to help teams get more smaller wins that builds momentum, and they're also made to avoid the planning fallacy. Think of a bunch of nanobots that are fully modular. They work great when they all work together and communicate well. When working on a sprint, this is what you should aim for. At the end of a sprint, try to improve your goals at least 10% after every successful sprint. Another great tip I got from this book is to make all work visible. When everyone can see everyone else's progress, the extra encouragement can push a slow worker and congratulate a successful one. Jeff suggests putting up a burn-down chart. That is basically a chart that shows up how much of a goal is left. And there is psychology behind this, and the reason that a burn-down chart works way better than a chart that goes up, but I'm not too sure on it. I guess it's like eating that last bite of an ice cream drumstick that is super satisfying. Also, a do, doing, and done chart is a great idea. Keep a public chart of many goals and tasks that need to be completed and accomplished, and put each task into the respective spots. For example, mine might be upload video in the do tab, animate video in the doing tab, and create voiceover in the done tab. This is a super easy way to stay organized and works even if you're not working in a group. In sprints, you will hold daily meetings. Everyone knows that meetings in the corporate world are a great way to waste time, so Jeff suggests keeping them short and only covering 3 topics. The first topic to cover is what happened yesterday so that everyone is on the same page. The second is to cover what will happen today and what everyone's daily goals are. And the last topic to cover is to come up with ideas to solve tomorrow's obstacles. Now these meetings can be under 10 minutes long and are astoundingly efficient. Also keep in mind the 80-20 principle, or the Pareto principle as some of you know it. If you aren't familiar on this topic, go check out my video on the book review. Basically, only focus on the 20% of the features, customers, or events that will bring you the most value. I've made around 60 videos of book reviews, and I found that around 15 of them are doing super well. I'll definitely be making more videos in their style and topics to ensure I'm adding the most value to my community. My personal favorite tip I got from the book is that sizing when you're prioritizing something is relative. This means you can use any form of relative sizing. Our brains are wired to think that since a to-do list is only numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, that we have to do them in that order and they are all weighed the same. Instead, try the Fibonacci sequence. If you're not familiar with what the Fibonacci sequence is, here's an example. It's a sequence that starts with 0 and adds the last 2 numbers. So you start with 0 and then you get 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, and now 1 plus 1 is 2. Now the next number would be 2 plus 1, which is 3, and then 5, 8, 13, and then 21. And you can continue this sequence. This will help your brain subconsciously weigh the task better. Another example is using t-shirt sizes, such as small, medium, and large. One company even used dogs, from Chihuahua to Great Dane. Also, this is a second book that I've found that has proof doing too much work is a bad thing. The Productivity Project also suggests where Chris Bailey worked 90 hours one week and 20 the next and only noticed a little different in his output. Now, ending this video, I'd like to say that this book is written in a format that is super easy to just open up and cherry pick information out that you want to read. But the basic idea of this book is to form small groups for projects that allow effective communication and avoid the planning fallacy. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you learned something. And if you did, click that like button. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.